I'm Dr. David Bernstein, and welcome back to our series, The iModes in Action. Today's video is exploring modes, and you're going to see a technique demonstrated which I call the Delphi protocol. And it's actually an adaptation of a very old technique in psychology called a Q-sort, where we ask the patient to sort the iModes cards into piles, depending on which cards are the most like himself and which are the least like himself. And it's a more structured way of introducing the iModes to patients. And some patients respond better to a more structured technique as opposed to just simply handing them the deck of cards and asking them to choose the cards that are most like them. This is a much more structured way to assess their modes. And as you're going to see, then after they've sorted the cards into piles, we begin with the first pile, the pile that's most like them, and we go one by one through the cards in that pile as a way of exploring the patient's modes together with him. So enjoy the video. So, I thought we could go further, if it's okay with you, in terms of, exploring your different sides, your different modes. And, there's a kind of, way of doing that, a method for doing that. And I want to suggest that we try it. So let me explain what it is, and you tell me if this is okay with you.
Yeah.
So, the idea would be, you already began to explore the cards a little bit. So this time, what I'd like you to do is to take these cards and to make 5 piles out of them, okay? And there are 25 cards in here, so it's, 5 piles of 5 cards each, okay? So 5 equal piles. And the idea is just to, look through the cards and first create a pile of the cards that are the most like you, the ones that, you think most apply to you. And then the second pile are the 5 that are the next most like you.
Okay.
And then the third are kind of like, sort of like you. And the fourth pile are the cards that are just a little bit like you. And then the last pile are the cards where you think, no, these aren't at all like me.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
So, and take your time, and they have a picture on the front, and then the name of the mode and a short description on the back. And you can always move things back and forth as you're playing around with these piles.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so, Ron, this is the pile that represents the cards that are, that you saw as being the most like you, the ones that you recognize the most. So why don't we just go through them one by one? You can just tell me a little bit about them. Like,
Okay.
the one on top here, you chose the punitive parent mode.
Yeah.
How does that apply to you? Where do you see that in yourself?
Yeah, because I know, like, being very strict, but also feeling very guilty very often. And especially towards Emma, or like after fights, or like, or when I just go out with friends and kind of leave her at home.
Okay.
I feel very guilty always.
Okay. Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, this is something, these feelings of guilt are something you're experiencing pretty much every day. Am I right? Is that
Yeah,
the way
like
you talk about it? Sounds like it's a big part of your life. Like when you fight with her, afterward you feel guilty. When you're trying to decide whether to go out with your friends, I guess does this also come into play? Like trying to make a decision: should I go out tonight, or may I go out tonight?
yeah, and even if we on a day that we don't have a fight, then I remember the fight from yesterday, or
Yeah.
and then I always find things that I think like, oh, that was very bad of myself.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so then this is really a big part of you, the side that kind of says certain things to you in a really negative, critical way. And maybe can you tell me what does that internal voice say to you? What does it say about Ron?
Yeah, like I should have more attention and time for Emma, or like that I'm mean for saying the things. Like when we fight, I get really angry and like say mean things.
Yeah.
And I can feel like very bad about that.
Okay. Okay, so there's a voice that says a lot of really mean things about you, actually. That is kind of telling you that you're being a bad guy, you're not treating her well.
Yeah.
You know, all that.
Yeah, or that, like that I should have more time for her.
Yeah.
That I'm a bad boyfriend in that sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I noticed also that the next card in this top pile that you chose, is the angry child mode. And, you'd mentioned that a little bit last time, that you tend to get really angry in your fights with Emma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, one of the things that really strikes me, Ron, if I might say so, is that, like, on the one hand, you have a side of yourself, that punitive side, that gets angry at yourself. And then you have a side that sometimes flips around and gets angry at Emma. And I kind of wonder if that's kind of just the nature of the situation. That, you kind of just ask yourself, whose fault is it? Am I the bad guy? Is she the bad guy?
That's exactly it, yeah.
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 But I just don't know, because on one hand I understand her,
Yeah.
but on the other hand I think it's normal to go out with friends. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it seems like this is a big part of the pattern that you're stuck in. Because these decisions about, is it okay to go out with my friends? Is it okay to do my own thing? How much time should I spend with Emma? How much time can I spend on my own? I mean, these are everyday decisions.
Yeah.
And yet it's this struggle all the time. And the struggle is kind of like that somebody ends up being at fault. Either you are at fault, or then you feel that she's at fault, and it's like there's no getting out of it. It is as if you're trapped in this kind of dilemma.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's not easy.
No.